Hey everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be my October TBR, aka the books I'm hoping to read before the end of the fall. It's a lot because this month we're going to make it very fun, and I'm going to be doing a new edition of Read It or Unhaul It, which I did it once this summer. I'll link it down below if you're interested. I was doing like YA, sci-fi, fantasy. Basically, I was trying to read them, often just reading the first chapter, deciding if I wanted to actually read them or not, because I knew that category was going to be really hit and miss. They had been on my bookshelves for months, years. So it was pretty rootless, which was fun. But I thought it would be fun to do that also for mystery, thriller, horror, because a lot of the ones that I have, I kind of forgot what they were about. They've been on my bookshelves for years, and I tend to just pick them at library sales, used bookstores, and like, oh, it looks interesting. I look at Goodreads quickly, the reviews are positive, and then I pick them up and forget what they were about after a few months. And now they're just there. And they're not even here because I'm redoing my bookshelves, my library, and they're all in like a cabinet in that room. It's a mess. They're all over the place. I think what I'm going to do when I start the vlog, I will be removing all the ones that I have read from the shelves, and then I'll just face all the other ones pretty, maybe write them all down, put them in a jar, and I will be picking them up. So if there's a premise for a vlog that interests you, let me know in the comment section, and I might do 2 weeks of that. That could be fun. I could read like 2 or 3 a week, or if I hate them and I keep putting them down, it might be 10. So the goal is just to finally read the ones that have been on there or get rid of them. If I'm not enjoying them, the point is not to torture myself or just have books that I don't like on my shelf. I like to keep it as much as possible with books that I enjoy or haven't read, but we need to read them eventually. So that's going to be a big chunk of my TBR for the month. I think it could be fun. It could be fun. It could be successful too. Maybe. But I feel like a lot of popular ones I've realized since from Goodreads, like the ones that have really good ratings, tend to be like domestic thriller and mysteries, which do not work for me. I know now. The drunk wife, the cheating husband, the woman in the coma, doesn't work. I hate them like with a passion. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. So all the other ones that are on my TBR are going to be for the 2 weeks. I'm going to be busy clearly because my TBR is excessive as always. Let's start with the Patreon book club pick of the month, and it is the Thursday Murder Club, which the premise sounds so intriguing. I'm so excited you guys chose that one. I've heard that book 2 is going to be like an all-time favorite for me, but you know, gotta read book 1 first. But the characters are really likable. You're following 4 friends in a retirement community, and they're all like pushing 80. And they meet once a week to resolve like unsolved mystery, just discuss them trying to figure out what happened. And then I think there's a murder, maybe in the community. I don't remember exactly, but I mean, I haven't read it, so. But I've heard that they have to investigate like in real time this time. So I'm intrigued. I feel like cozy, I mean, kind of counts as cozy in my opinion. Cozy murder mystery work a lot better for me than the domestic mystery thrillers. So I'm very hopeful that it's going to be great, but I have it in mind that if I don't love it, I still want to give book 2 a shot. So we'll see how that goes. One of the ones that didn't win for the book club was Tender is the Flesh. A lot of people have been telling me I'm not going to like that one. And you know what? That's fair. That's fair. It's horror. Horror tends to be very hit and miss. Although as long as they don't have an open ending, I'm open to trying them. This one, I believe there's a virus that affects people, and now we just can't eat meat, like animal meat. So cannibalism becomes a thing. It becomes legal. I feel like it could be a really interesting topic to explore. I don't know how far the author is going to go, but it's horror. So I'm intrigued. It's about 200 pages. So even if I don't enjoy it, I can try it and we'll see. We'll see. I'm curious. Sometimes you just have to know. You know, there's some hype. You keep hearing about a book and it's just time for me that I pick it up. I'm getting it from the library, so the ebook. So at least if I hate it, you know, I don't have to buy it. But if I love it, I'll just try to find a copy. But yeah, so that should be fun. Another horror book, the only other horror book that I know for sure I want to read is Sour Candy. I believe the premise of this one is like there's a son and father. Turns out like the father is like a prisoner that kidnapped the son. It just sounds really weird, but it's about 70 pages. I've heard great things. It was suggested that I give it a shot, so I will. I'm hopeful, but I feel like a lot of murder mystery or just mystery thriller horror. I don't know a lot about the premise, but maybe that's why they tend to be hit and miss. No judgment here. So we'll see how that goes. One of my other challenges this year is to finish series, and I mean, I'm doing good now. We had a whole month trying to read as many as possible in August, and I did pretty good, but I don't think I've hit it. I think I'm missing one, so maybe I will hit it this month. This is the 3rd and last book in the Millennium Trilogy. I know that someone else continued the series, but it's not the same author, so it doesn't count in my head. But this is the last book in a trilogy. I would finish it. And I loved book one. You did have like small town vibes, like murder mystery on an island. Yes. And I liked book two. I liked it, not as much as book one. So I'm curious to see what book three will bring. Will I still like it? I liked the main character, like Lisbeth, but I didn't like a few of the things that she did in book two. And the main character is definitely like projection. What's the name? Wish fulfillment? Like the author. Basically that man sleeps with everyone. So see what I mean? But I still really enjoyed book one and two. I feel like the author was handling topics that I wasn't expecting from a man in like the 90s? 2009? When was published book one? That wasn't even English. Now I'm curious, when was book one? 2008? Why did I think it was published in the 90s? I thought he handled some of these topics really well, so I want to see what happens with the next one. So I'll keep you updated. That one is definitely the chunkiest book I have on my TBR. This month they're all pretty short. The last physical copy I own of a book that I need to read is this one. This is The Devotion of Suspect X, which is a translation. I wanted to see if maybe translated mystery thriller horror work better for me than the ones published, like the popular ones in Canada, US, UK. So we'll see how that one goes. I believe the author is Japanese. In this one, the premise wasn't very clear online, but I believe like there's a ex-husband that shows up and I believe his ex-wife kills him to protect her daughter, something like that. So we'll see. I've heard really fantastic things. So many people told me to actually try anything by him, and I believe this is the first one. The internet says number 3, but I think it's the first one that is translated. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I'm excited. Now, a few from the library that I'm hoping to read or listen to, I think actually a lot of these are audiobooks. Hidden Pictures, which this one is a nanny working. It's okay. I feel like it's cliche. It's been done a million times, but I'm still looking for a favorite one, and I'm always intrigued, so I always try them no matter what. And the reviews are positive. It's a new release. Anyway, the little boy she takes care of is always drawing, and then he starts drawing creepy stuff like dead bodies. I don't know if it's like, did he see something, or is it the kid that's not well? Either way, I'm intrigued. I want to try it, so I'll let you know how it goes. But I know it's been so overdone, but what's a cliche like mystery thriller topic that intrigues you every time? Because the 90 works for me. I don't even know why. Because half the time the kids are so annoying, I want them to die. That came off so wrong, but like, you know what I mean. So I'm intrigued. We'll let you know how that goes. Then we have Last to Vanish, which is by Megan Miranda, which I have read most of her books at this point because she tends to write pretty solid murder mystery in small town. And automatically in my head, small town means cozy, and cozy tends to just work so much better for me than the domestic thrillers. I never like them, pretty much. So like, they're just so popular, so every time I'm like, oh, it's new, it has great reviews, let me try it. Every time I'm disappointed. So like, I need to actually start reading the premises properly and just skip the ones that I know I'm not gonna like. But her in general, they work for me. My favorite by her, by the way, is All the Missing Girls, if you're intrigued. But this one is her newest release, Last to Vanish. And it's a journalist that is trying to investigate, that's what I was looking for, crime. Like a bunch of girls disappear in that small town, and then she disappears, I think. So like, I want to know. I will try everything by her at this point. There's only one book I didn't care for her. I think it's the newest release before this one. That one was a 2-star, but usually they're like 3.5, 4 stars for me, which is pretty solid consistency. So yeah, I feel like I'm barely speaking English today. Then I have The Woman in the Library, which that one also intrigued me because I like it's like in a bubble and like someone did it, the murder. If you have a good one, let me know. But in this case, it's at public library. There's a woman that screams bloody murder. I don't know if she's actually being murdered or not. And security closes the doors and like people have to sit down until they figure it out. And you have 4 people talking at a table, you know, what they're doing there, blah, blah, blah. And then one of them is a murderer, but I don't know if they're a murderer of her. They murdered her or like, anyway, either way, I'm intrigued. I want to read it because again, that premise is intriguing to me. So we'll try it. It's a new release also, so I'll let you know if it's worth the read or not. And then we have one last one. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to get to it because the library says 6 weeks, but like sometimes people return early. We'll see. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which so many people told me to give it a shot. It is YA, which I try once in a while. The popular ones, they tend to be a little bit more hit and miss for me, but I've heard so many great things. And I believe this one, it's like a girl was murdered and a boy was convicted for it, but the main character doesn't believe that he did it. Small town also, of course. So I will try it. I'll let you know how it goes. Maybe in October, maybe early November. And then I have 2 more audiobooks that are not part of mystery thriller horror galore. The first one is Earthlings, which was recommended to me because I was reading Convenience Store Woman, and I was mentioning how I wish the second half the author went way further. Like way further, like social commentary could have been super interesting, and she just didn't do it. So I was disappointed with it, but people told me that this other one by her is more like that. There's more social commentary, so hopefully it's the case. I believe it's also quite short, and I'll let you know. If it works, then good. I know to try more by the author. If it doesn't, I'll just know that she's not for me. I have one nonfiction. It was one of my challenges this year to read more, and I did super well the first half of the year. I think I was at 27, 29, like I've read a ton. So I feel kind of accomplished with it. So I feel like I've been neglecting it a little bit, trying to finish all the other challenges I had. But there is one I really am hoping I'm gonna have time to read this month. The Intersectional Environmentalist. So basically the author explore how racism and classism affect people with like climate change, for example, which I don't feel like I hear enough people talk about this. It's really interesting and I wanted to try it. I believe the audiobook is 4 hours, so it should be pretty quick, but I'm really intrigued, so I'll let you know, but it sounds really good. Otherwise, I feel like if I have more time, I am thinking about continuing more series because it's embarrassing how many I have started. It will probably go in November, but let me show you quickly. Okay. Are you ready? I'm gonna go quickly because it's embarrassing. Second book in a series. Second book in the series. Second book in the series. Second book in the series. Third book in the series. Second book in the series. Second book in the series. And the last one I grabbed because there are more. Third book in a series. This one needs to happen, but I might keep it for December because I don't have time to read much in December and I could just dedicate it to that one book. So yeah, it's a problem. Like I said, I'm working on it. I've been doing it slowly throughout the year. But yeah, might keep that for November. Maybe I'll do the same way that I'm doing like a read it on haul it for 2 weeks. Maybe I can do that with series. Again, I did attempt to do that in August, but yeah, when I look at them one by one like that, it's a lot. I'm really good at starting series. Not so good at finishing them. I don't know why. It definitely started with Booktube. Definitely started with Booktube. Let me know in the comment section if you have read any of these, how you felt about them, which one should I prioritize, and if you're excited for that read it or unhaul it, because if you are, I'll definitely do 2 weeks. If you're not, maybe I'll just do 1 week. We'll reassess how it goes, but I think it's a necessity for me at this point. You get fun vlogs, and I get to go through my TBR a little faster than usual because if I don't like it, it goes. So let me know what you're planning on reading this one also, because I might have time to squeeze another one in there. Probably not. Listen, it's a crazy TBR, I'm aware, but I feel like this year it's been going so well. I'm going to talk about it in my wrap up soon, but I've already hit my goal of reading 100 books this year. It's been crazy. The beginning of the year was really rough, but then I started reading like 10, 15 books a month. It slowed down a little bit, but I think it's more of a healthy amount now than it was this summer. I broke my toe, okay? To be fair, I couldn't do anything. So, being very defensive here. So yes, that's it. That's enough. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will be putting on the screen the 2 recent vlogs I've done because I've been reading so many amazing books, like so many 5 stars. I think this is my best year ever, 5-star wise, which just saying. And yeah, I will see you next video very soon. Bye.